It is dark. Turn this light on. I can see my breath. It doesn't feel that cold in here. That's creepy. Alrighty, y'all. So this is gonna be a bit of a different one, if you can even see me. Tonight, I am at Robbers Cave in Lincoln, Nebraska, and they're gonna let me spend the night inside.
My name's Joel. I'll be showing through the tunnels. I usually teach school down the street. I'm going on my 19th year. I also teach at the university, also the author of the Robbers Cave book. Been giving tours of it almost every day for the past 9 years. It's really fun. Not a lot of Nebraskans visit. This has been voted outstanding tourism attraction for the whole state. It is mostly people from other countries, other states. Sometimes I get locals and they go, well, I grew up 3 blocks from here. I never heard of this. I'm like, you hung out with a respectable crew. Right where you parked was a spooky house. It belonged to the Scarboroughs, who were kind of infamous for having pet coyotes tied up to trees as pets. One time, if you wanted to visit the cave, you'd go hang out at the sun porch. And old lady Scarborough would come out, do a bolt, crank some lights. By the tree was a door. And you'd start heading down some stairs. And that's what's left of the steps. Right there. The ghost of the staircase.
Oh wow, yeah, right there.
Yep. And the door was right here, down, over, and down. And at one time, the lights were smashed. You had to take strings and follow them to know where to go. Just like this. That's how you know where you were going. So, got it on the National Register a couple years back. Just to make sure you're not carving the walls. And took the Atmospheric Sciences Department 31 hours to laser scan it using LiDAR. So everything in here is mapped and recorded to the millimeter. Just make sure you're picking up your feet. Nothing's flat. You're kind of walking through an old beach.
Okay.
All right. I'll get the lights. Nothing's flat in here. Nothing to feel like you're in Lincoln, though. That's for sure.
Wow.
And that's something. Every inch of this place is covered with 150 years of activity. 1860s all the way to 2015. That's when the building was put up. But you can even see where the candles were burning back in the day on the ledge. Before it was Robbers Cave, it had a lot of names like Penitentiary Cave, Lincoln Cave, Sandstone Cave, Notorious Old Cave. And the oldest name I ever found for it writing the book was Original Council Cave Tunnel. And that's this part right here. If you look at how uneven the floor is, there's cross bedding in the floor, there's watermarks in the ceiling. When we go over to the man-made enlarged part, it's totally different. It's a flatter floor, a perfect arch, and there'll be pickaxe marks in the ceiling. That's how you know. But it's kind of neat. Beneath Lincoln, it's like Destin, Florida. It's a white sandy beach. When you take off the top layer of the cave, it looks like sugar. Isn't that cool? We got a lake just west of downtown Capitol Beach that used to be a saltwater bathing amusement park all the way to the 60s. I grew up very close to it. Usually when you go to a cave, everything's limestone, right? It's wet and it's drippy. They teach you about stalactites and stalagmites. Robbers Cave's totally different. It's all sand. Anything that ever happened in here, like I said, stuck in time. Sometimes people are like, hey, what are the historically significant carvings? I go, oh, NWA, Metallica, and the Kool-Aid Man. Isn't that funny?
Kool-Aid's from Nebraska.
That'll be historic someday, yeah. In addition to the new ones, you got oldie above you, April 6, 1911. Boy Scout troops from the 40s and 50s. Just don't try to read everything. It's 31 hours. A lot of cool skulls and skeletons everywhere. I can show you some of the cool faces for. Okay, you got that one. E.T. was right behind me. Look at E.T.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that great? Graham. There's one over here that's got a cool chin. But yeah, isn't that cool? Look at the cross bedding on the floor. Tells you which way the wind was blowing and the waves were flowing all those years ago.
So water ran right through this then.
Yeah. Sandstone caves are formed by a process called piping. Water will come down through a hole and take sand grains with it and form these little cavities. That's probably the oldest picture I can find of Robbers Cave. It's like a sandstone cliff with some tunnels popping out. Yeah, this water just follows the least path of resistance. There's a good one. Sorry, you couldn't make it up there in Mexico, right? All right, we're going deeper. Not very many Mongis and Bambis anymore, huh?
No.
I like the old school.
Definitely old names.
There's a good one. Right there. There's a good one right there. All right, you're gonna notice this black in the wall. This is iron ore. The reason we have all this sand in the eastern part of the state, we were covered in a shallow sea at one time in the eastern part of Nebraska, western interior seaway. Nebraska even had a little shoreline. Like if you follow the iron ore, see how it makes the waves up and down?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, isn't that pretty cool? You ever wonder why Salt Creek tiger beetles, Salt Lake, Salt Dogs baseball team? Yeah, that's why there's people out here been scraping salt for a long time. I say it made the bison taste better.
Oh yeah.
Last longer. This one's pretty old. December 13th, 1901. Not far from a Beta Sig party from the 80s. There's the tri-delts over there. See the three triangles?
Oh yeah.
Not far from a you suck. A little bit of everything. Here's the evil eye. These are, okay, if you're wondering about the newest, they're 2015. They're vandalism from the year the building was put up. There's a couple 2015s, yeah. Here's the all-seeing eye. Ghostface from Scream's almost 30. I saw that at the Starship 9 when I went to Park Junior High in the 90s. 30 years ago. This reminds me of Punisher.
Oh yeah.
This creepy rabbit reminds me of Donnie Darko.
I have a bunch of creepy faces looking at me tonight.
The ICU.
Oh yep.
That was my daughter's fave. ICU pictogram. And this looks like Vecna from Stranger Things right here. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's creepy.
Some artists. All right, you got to understand this looks and smells quite a bit different. There's a lot of good times at Robbers Cave, a lot of problems too, fights and break-ins. The people that owned it bulldozed the top, sealed it off with a slab of cement, which is a big reason why a lot of people don't know about it, I think. It's been sealed up for a long time. Before the tour started in 2015, it was basically kind of an abandoned seedy property. And the door stood until 99-2000, but then it was bulldozed, covered with a slab of cement. So if you were visiting Robbers Cave after 1999, you're sneaking out in the middle of the night to get on your belly and shimmy through a 2x2 hole for almost 20 minutes, all the way to the stairwell until you drop to the cave.
Oh man.
Terrifying. All right, back here's a little crevice. Takes you to a different part of the cave. For 75 years, it was known as the lunchroom. There used to be picnic tables in here. That's how you got a pie. Back here was a fireplace. If you're not afraid of the dark, follow my light. Got a couple pics from the 50s I want to show you. They're pretty funny. All right, here we go. Wednesday Adventures with Joel. Flip this here. Okay, careful of the meatball. All the way in the back is where the picnic tables used to sit. And right behind me was the fireplace. Little dip here. There it is. If it were still day, you could look right up and outside, and you can see daylight at the top. I've had people on the tour old enough to remember their entire school classes flying down that ladder to eat lunch here.
Wow.
All right, you ready for the party pics? July 1957. Right here where we're standing, cooking hot dogs. That's a 1957 subterranean weenie roast.
Great place to have a party.
Here's my favorite. I had better photographs 70 years ago. Made out of glass, perfectly clear, no pixels. Ectochrome. See that big fire going?
Oh, yeah.
There it is, right here. Do you notice he's smoking a toilet?
Toilet pipe.
You know she's got a 45 to his head?
Somebody's grandparents were pretty wild.
You ever wonder what it was like to party with Grandma and Grandpa? They didn't mess around in the 50s. Back when smoking was good for you.
Oh, yeah, everybody's smoking.
2 out of 4 doctors recommend Camels. All right. Get some light for you. There you go. That's the emergency exit. If anything happens and you feel like running outside, that'd be the way to go.
Right?
Yeah. This part is actually the only part in the cave that won't be dark. So I'll cut the lights off for you, but this area, because it's the emergency exit, has light. But there'll be other parts in the cave you can get dark, so you'll be able to sleep. All right, check this out. Had you visited about 110 years ago, photographer would have been set up right there, this exact spot, crammed with almost 100 people, body to body holding candles, wearing fur coats and feather hats. Somehow you'd live. You ever need proof which you can pull off with your common sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you know how there's always a creepy lady in old pictures? This used to hang on the wall at a bookshop downtown. It's called Blue Stem Books. It's still open. When I was younger, I'd go stare at this. It fascinated me. I saved up some money. I went and bought it from Mr. Went right off his wall, flipped it over, and it said 1910 Palladian Party. Then I made a mistake. I looked at every single one of these people in the eyes. There's always a freaky lady in old pictures, right? Found her.
Her eyes are like...
Isn't that funny?
That is creepy.
People, I'm like, man, she had a rough night or she's still here.
I hope not.
Yeah, right? I guess you'll find out.
Yeah.
All right, so what's the rest of the cave doing here? Notice how it changed shape? We got a flatter floor, a perfect arch. Way back in the 1860s, right outside of that hole, brewers from Waukesha, Wisconsin and Red Wing, Minnesota, Big Ten country, came and built Lincoln's first brewery right there. All these cavities used to be full of barrels of lager. They used it like a big fridge.
Okay.
And when the product was ready, they just rolled it up the ramp right out of the hole. They stuck it onto horses and it went to the Haymarket. That's where all the saloons were. To enlarge the cave, they hired this big German man. His name was Jakob Wandler. And he spent 4 years. He used a pickaxe, a shovel, and a wheelbarrow. And in 4 years, Uncle Jake hammered out 5,600 square feet of cave that we have today, all off the natural tunnels.
All by himself?
Yeah, the article that describes it all is all first person.
Huh.
This was the well. On the map, it's called Fat Man's Misery. That's where they were getting water to brew the lager. So if you're feeling adventurous, we're going down there.
Absolutely.
All right. So on a regular tour, I give a little spiel about how this won't make sense. I promise it's true. Caves mess with your head. You go all the way to the bottom and you hang a left. And you'll find me waiting for you over there. Down and to the left somehow pops you out on another side of this cave. Yep. Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
All right. Just hang on to the bar. This there's kind of sideways. All right. Now look up. We're at the bottom of a well. Isn't that cool?
That is crazy.
Yeah. All right, got another face for you. It always reminded me of Blue Man Group. Look at this boat.
Oh yeah.
There's some artists in there.
It's crazy how absolutely covered it is in here.
Yeah. I mean, just think of all there's gotta be like millions of people that have been
Oh
there.
yeah.
I used to think thousands, but then after doing tours for almost a decade, I'm like, dude, just times that by like over a century. This is the part where you gotta turn a little sideways. And then this part here is pretty cool. All that used to be here was this one horizontal bar.
Oh yeah, you could have fell down there real easily.
Yeah. These vertical bars are actually from the back windows of a gun shop where Subway is now. These are the back windows of Capital Shooting Supply. Ed Jr., who grew up on the property, covered that in the 70s. But if we could hop in the old DeLorean, time travel back to the 60s when this was totally normal, there would have been 14 little kids playing at the bottom.
Right down there.
Yeah, can you see it?
That's crazy, yeah.
Probably on a daily basis. If you're wondering about this green, this is called lump and flora. You find it in all show caves that have artificial lights. I don't know if you can stick your camera down there, but you'd be looking right down the well where we just were.
Oh, so this is almost the top of it, yeah.
Yeah, that's where we came from. And then that cement slab is the well cap that covers the well. And all that used to hold it up, see these beams, these rusty beams?
Oh yeah.
The Scarboroughs just threw an old car frame up there.
Huh.
Obviously that didn't cut it for structural engineers. So that's what all this cribbing is doing here. These are all waterproof beams that were built to hold the cribbing back there, or serve as cribbing to hold the well cap in place.
That's pretty thick.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, you can see right where the water ran through.
Later on, it'll be pickaxe marks in a whole different shape. This was an old entrance at one time. See the frame here and here?
Oh yeah.
Even here. There's still some left. Who would have thought we had Hobbiton right under Lincoln, Nebraska?
Yeah, this is wild.
That's cool. Here's an old VW bug symbol. This was used to be open to outside. You could slide into the cave via an old flagpole. It got closed off, bricked up a long time ago. All right, just watch your head. Natural steps. Even the trash down here is cool. Prehistoric black and mild tips. Butterscotches from the 60s. All right, this should look familiar.
I feel like I'm completely backwards, yeah.
I'll pick up right where we left off. Yeah, this is kind of strange. You go all the way to the bottom. We went left, caught a staircase. To me, that'd pop you over here. Instead, we end up over there. All right, what happened to the big brewery back there? Anti-Horse Thief League rode all the way up from Kansas, burned it down in 1885 after it had become a sporting hall / dance hall, which historian Jim McKee tells me is brothel. Here's what it looked like. This big 3-story wooden stone structure. You could get into this cave through the cellar of that building right there. Okay. And this was here all the way to 1885. Stealing horses in Nebraska was a hanging offense. 75% of your net worth. So there's no building back there anymore. It's late 1800s Nebraska. The tunnel started to be used for things like this. It picked up a Robbers Cave nickname. The cave's named after Jesse James. Whether he was ever here or not, there's no way to prove it. But he did live in Rouleau, Nebraska with Zerelda. His mom was a school teacher in Decatur, Nebraska. His brother lived in Omaha. He had his wedding pics taken on Main Street, Nebraska City. So he was around here quite a bit.
I had no idea.
Yeah, he was even going to buy land in Franklin County, Nebraska. And that's when he got shot in St. Joe. That's how it gets the Robbers Cave nickname. Nebraska did have outlaws, though. Doc Middleton, Albert Kidway, Jesse James Gang, Wild Bill Hickok was the lawman at the time, and then Starkweather. He lived right down the street. He went to Saratoga and Irving, played here quite a bit as a boy. I met the granddaughters of the officer, Ben Maskey, who was tasked with searching Robbers Cave for Starkweather the night of the murders. Can you imagine that, John? Walking through here in the dark. Charlie! It isn't loaded, is it? But I was going to show you the this cave gang photo. All these kids went to Northeast. They were known as the Cave Gang. This is from the 50s. This was given to me by a man named Harlan Heald. And the reason I thought of it is because of Starkweather. That's Bobby Colbert, Starkweather's first victim.
No kidding.
Yeah. All right, let's go look at some pickaxe marks. How'd you like this job for 4 years?
Just picking it away.
Yeah, pickaxe marks from the 1860s. What a job. The Scarborough family got the cave in 1908. They wanted to grow shrooms in here, nice and dark and damp. When they were clearing everything out to put in their mushroom beds, I think they found pistols, counterfeit coin, tubing from an old still. It started up a lot of rumors. And so many people were coming to see the cave, they opted to forget mushrooms and just open it to the public. So from 1908 to 1973, and a handful of years in the 80s, you could come do whatever you want. That's why you got Greek letters everywhere. For a small fee, it was open to the public. Nebraska's football team came in the 60s every year, right after the spring game. This was the stage for bands to play. See this cut? It was from this line all the way back. It was a wood stage. Right here is where you drop the extension for power. At one time it went out the yard. You didn't need speakers in here. There's lights for the stage. And that, a gentleman visited all the way from Crawfordsville, Indiana, walked right up to it and goes, "That's my drummer's chair, dude." That's where the drummer sat. But in the 60s, that was the go-to. All the Boy Scouts, they would race to see who could get this and throw out their bag.
That might have to be the spot for the night.
Yeah. The most people I ever read about in the cave at once was a scouting event. It was in the 60s, 200 kids. 8 held court and stayed the night in here. It was a Flintstone-themed buffet party put on by the Scouts in the 60s. Everybody run down here and try to get this. This was the spot for the sleeping bag, I've been told. All right, the oldest one that's been found in here is 1875, all the way at the bottom. Sam Dalton, May 1875. So why did we go from that sandy floor, and now we're on this poured cement slab? Any thoughts on that? Here's a clue. A lot of air under you.
It's the dance floor.
Nailed it. Good job. Yeah, you're on the old dance floor. Think of flappers getting down to the Charleston. Bands are playing right there. Got to keep in mind during Prohibition times, 20s, 30s, you could get into that door, come and do whatever. That was there all the way to 99, 2000.
I'm surprised it lasted that long, honestly.
I know, right? Hadn't been there for, I think, since the 20s. Now, if this was the dance floor, What do you think this was?
It's either the bathroom or the love shack.
Both. Yeah. That's that bathroom I was telling you about. Just depends on the decade.
I guess.
In the 20s, the necking nook. It's where people would go off and smooch.
Okay.
At one time, a boom boom room. People actually bring their kids back to show them where they're made. It doesn't happen often. It has happened before. It's always in here. And it's always awkward. I never know what to say.
Huh.
Oh. Then, the 60s, yeah. Kick sand over it, call it good. It became a bathroom. If you want to pop your light on, you can check it out. I'll give you more room there. That's a perfect little hook. No question mark. Isn't that cool?
They just pee in the corner in here.
Yep, kick sand over it, smothered it.
Huh.
All right. Well, if you thought this being a dance floor was strange, that being a bathroom was weird, would you believe this was all a daycare at one time? People would drop their kids off with Old Lady Scarborough and a sack lunch, and they would just run through here and play all day unsupervised. Anyone I ever interviewed about that, though, said heaven on earth. They learned to ride bikes in here, they crawled on picnic tables, they took out light bulbs, they built forts, they played flashlight tag all day. It sounds strange to a lot of people because it's 2025.
But that would have been a blast when you were a little kid.
Yeah, and I got to remind people too, there was a time when kids were pretty self-sufficient. Mm-hmm. They could feed themselves, pee by themselves, tie their own shoes. Sounds kind of insane now.
Well, you don't have to worry about them getting out and wandering off.
Here's Esther Bell. That's probably why they were so well behaved. There she is.
She's wild looking.
Somebody get out of line. She might use that broom.
Send the coyote after you? Is that a coyote?
Many of the females sitting on her lap.
Huh.
Here's the American flag up top. Pretty cool. Here's a leatherhead football helmet or a bad 70s haircut. State of Nebraska, 1931. All right, so the one time I've ever gotten spooked out of here, keep in mind it's just me and the key. I book and give every tour. It's always nice and quiet. Sometimes I hear footsteps, but of course there's a catering company up there. So that explains that. But this, according to the video, happened back in March of 2018 when I came in to get the lights up for the tour. They weren't flashing on and off. Nobody was back there playing a joke on me. I came into the cave and the light bulbs started to do waves up and down the tunnels. I'd never seen it do that. It's pretty cool. And I got the phone out, started recording everything. I'm like, no one's going to believe this. Like an earthquake or something. Well, I made it halfway down to right here where the steps begin. They all cut off. I'm standing right here in the dark, recording with my phone. I remember it like it was yesterday. I looked over here, nothing. Looked over here, nothing. A couple of seconds go by. Bloom. One light bulb turned on in the whole cave. That one, right next to where I was standing. And that's when I left.
That's creepy.
You puss, follow it like Stranger Things. Nobody could fix the lights that day. Had to cancel the tour. It's never happened again. And the best part about the whole story, once we're out of this tunnel, our phones wake up. I can show you the video. I welcome opinions, especially from people that know a lot about electricity. I don't know how many electricians have seen it. They all say the same thing. They're like, LEDs don't do that. They buzz a little bit and go out. Just like that. That one's about to go out. I'll tell you a little bit more about this room where we started. And then you can decide where you want to set up camp. This used to hang on the fence near the entrance to the cave. It was brought back by a police chaplain named Frosty Chapman. He had it in his garage for a long time. Saved it from a trash heap. This is where we are right now, this square. It's the old ice house for the brewery. And where did we go? Down into the first tunnel, down the side tunnel to the right. Up to the left, bat cave, fireplace. Then I took you down to the bottom of the well and took a left and shot you out at the beginning.
Huh.
We went down the hobbit hole, walked you over onto the stage, around onto the dance floor, back into the bathroom, up where the pole was, over here for that story, back into the square, doing wiggles the whole time.
It's very disorienting as soon as you get down there. Like,
Yeah. It's even more disorienting during the day when after the tour, I walk the tour upstairs and tell them that there's no part of this cave under the building. And they're like, what?
really?
Like, you can't do that. Plumbing.
Ah.
Yeah. And then we go over to the windows and I say, the whole cave is over there.
Huh.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you how far under the building the cave is, but
It's
I
not.
guess that does make sense.
Yeah. And check that out. We have been underground already an hour. That's exactly how long it takes me to walk people through and show you the pictures.
It didn't feel like it was that long either.
No, that's the thing too. And I usually don't tell people that until we're back upstairs because they're like back to the daylight. And I go, all the tours to me, they physically feel like 20-minute walkthroughs. Look at your clocks and watch this 59 minutes. Just like that. Isn't that cool? All right, ready to see the video?
Yeah.
March 2018, 6:36 p.m. If you're nice and quiet, you can hear my footsteps. If you have epilepsy, probably want to shut your eyes. This will be even with you here. Okay, it's coming in right here. Now, once I get in there all the way, I'll be able to see him going down and back. Then I look down the other tunnel, and they're doing the same. And I wasn't worried about the red light. Can you see that? That's a battery-operated exit. I changed that. And part of me is waiting for someone to come out and say, gotcha. Nothing happened. They all cut off. Here's what gets the electricians. Boom.
It's creepy.
That's when I started talking to myself. I remember looking over here, nothing. I looked down the other tunnel. Where'd this blue light come from? Come to me. Nope, time to go.
That's creepy.
I've been back there a million times. There's lights back there. They're these, they're not that color. I wasn't really in the mood to find out why. Zoom. Isn't that weird?
Huh.
Yeah, the electricians have never been able to figure out why just the one day, why just the one light, how did it change color? Mostly to me, how did it fix itself?
All right, got my bag, and we are in here by our lonesome. This is such a wild place to be able to be in by myself. And I'll be in here till 6 o'clock in the morning. So, gosh, I'm a little creeped out. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I don't know where to... I think we gotta go back to that stage area. I know this is gonna be a really long video at this point. I wasn't really expecting. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to crouch down and do that. Hold on. Oh. The bag's heavy. Wasn't really sure what the tour is gonna be like, but I don't feel like I should cut any of that out. So, yeah, it's gonna be a long video, but absolutely worth it. I'm in a cave, all alone. And he gave me some literature, which I left up there at the front. I'll have to go pick it up. But there has been a death in the cave. And there's the stage. All right, yeah, I think I do have my little cot with me, but I kind of feel like we just, I don't know, maybe lay the pad down and sleep right there. Whew, my bag is heavy. And it's warmer down here than I expected it to be, so I'm a little overdressed, but that's fine. It's a little dusty, but I've got a bag of food for dinner. We'll get into that. Go ahead and set up a chair. There's just so many names in this thing that there's looks like a sphinx right there. This is wild. So I guess I gotta say thanks to you guys, because you guys give me the opportunity to do these things. Never in my wildest dreams did I think this would be what I'd be doing tonight. So I appreciate it. Definitely give the video a thumbs up if you made it this far. This wasn't free. I did have to pay quite a bit of money to spend the night in here tonight, but it's absolutely worth it. It's like the best Airbnb you could be at. And I also want to say thanks to you guys that all ordered merch. We filled probably about 300 orders so far. So all that stuff is on the way. I know a couple people have gotten their things already, but why don't we get ourselves something to eat? I'm just gonna be cheesing this whole thing because this is wild. All right, so I hit up World Market because they didn't really want me to cook a full meal down here, you know, like fire or anything like that, obviously. So we've got some different stuff to try from all over the world. To start with, we have some mackerel fillets. These are from Spain, the Rebel of the Sea, La Curiosa, in olive oil with curry and chili. We're gonna eat those with some of these traditional mini toasts. These are from France, baked in France. We've also got some cheese, creamy garlic and herb cheese. This is from Wisconsin. This is the only thing from the continental United States in this. We have some Doritos. As you can see the writing on there, these are from Taiwan. They are garlic steak Doritos from Taiwan. And we've got ourselves some pineapple citrus water from Hawaii. This was brewed or not brewed, I guess this was made in Honolulu, I believe. Yeah, out of Honolulu, Hawaii. And for dessert, we've got ourselves some strawberry Oreos. And these are from China, I believe. It says on the back here, yes, country of origin, China. So we've got some different stuff to try. Did I bring a spoon or a fork, I guess, for my mackerel and my chippies? Don't exactly have the didn't bring a table or anything with me. My bag was already full enough. Pretty sure I shoved this fork in here somewhere. Oh. Some lights. Bam, we got ourselves a fork. I'm eating spicy mackerel fillets in a cave underneath the city of Lincoln, Nebraska, the capital of the state. Try not to spill my fishies everywhere. You guys can see that. You know what I didn't? Oh, I've got toilet paper. I was gonna say I didn't bring any paper towels or anything with me. It smells really good. Don't want to spill this. What a wild experience. Well, hopefully you guys enjoy this for a Halloween video. Try a little bit of this These are like big old steaks of big old hunks of mackerel. I love my canned meats, or tinned fish, I guess. Little spicy, but not bad at all. No, I did not bring any hot sauce with me. These are just tiny little chunks of bread here. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the tour of this place. Anybody can book a tour and you can come down and take that tour yourself. If you want to come here and check this place out. The building above this is like a party venue. They do a lot of weddings and stuff like that. I think today they actually had a wedding rehearsal up there earlier today. All right, we got to see what this cheese is about. So it's like individual pieces. I don't know how this is non-refrigerated. I got fish oil in my bird. Just a little wedge of cheese, but it's like a soft cheese. Spreadable cheese. I'm just gonna slap it on a cracker. That's really good. All right, pineapple citrus. That's good. Probably be better if it was a little bit colder, but no cooler. I definitely need to hit World Market more often because they've got so many different kinds of stuff. Oh, there's actually a chili pepper in there. From all over the world, they've got so many different things, and I love me some ramen. They've got all sorts of different ramen. All right, we got to see what these garlic steak flavored Doritos are like. It's always wild to see the stuff that they make in different areas. It smells funny. I don't know what that tastes like, but it's not garlic steak. Yeah, I don't know what that tastes like. They're good. But it doesn't taste like steak to me. All right, let's finish up our last piece of fish here and figure out how we're gonna get our bed set up. Do you dare me to eat the chili pepper? It's a little spicy. Not bad. Got a little kick to it. I mean, if this was the place to be, it's where we got to stay, right? We'll just lay this out just to try to keep the sleeping bag somewhat clean. I'll be covered in sand by the morning. I don't think I'm even gonna unfold that. It'll work just fine like that. Got a bed. Bed in the cave. All right. Let's wander back up to the top. That's the way we came down. But this other way goes back up there too. Because I did buy his book, although I'm not gonna, because I can show that to you guys. But he gave me a little thing that I think he said he wrote it last night with some of the more scary stories and stuff on there, so we gotta check that out. It's just I'm in a cave. Probably should have just grabbed my lantern, so we gotta turn the lights off at some point. Yeah, here's the book I bought. I gotta remember not to forget this. Yeah. Bam. We've got this here. I gotta remember not to forget that book. This is so wild. You gotta be like crunched over to get down here. Probably got more sand on myself. The amount of graffiti, like, and it's just people have carved over everybody else. Like, there's so much of it down here, and like, that was a face, but it's kind of faded away at this point. All right, so this is the ghosty info is how he's got it put on here. It says as early as July 15th of 1888, in the Nebraska State Journal, Robert's Cave was being described as being haunted. There's many websites that claim the cave is haunted. Almost all the information on these sites is untrue, though. He says he first learned about the cave being haunted when he was young from a book called The Guide to Ghosts of Lincoln by Alan Boy. The book has a bit of truth, but is highly sensationalized. And it's due to its proximity to the state penitentiary and an old mental institution. So I'm probably completely turned around in here, but I believe the state pen is like quarter mile that direction. And it says there have been tales of convicts and patients who end up at the cave because of connecting tunnels, but there's no connecting tunnels and there never were. Stories claim Native American chants and drums, screams, cries, laughter, and voices can be heard. The Pawnee Council Cave name was a misnomer. There's a high bluff where Indian Village is now, but the closest tribe to Robbers Cave was the Oto, Missouri. There have been a bunch of paranormal investigations over the past 9 years. There was some stuff that they heard, but it was other people that were in the cave doing like exploring or whatever, their stuff on the other side, and they were using night vision, body cameras, electromagnetic field detectors, SLX Connect cameras, digital recorders, movement sensors, and other scientific devices, as well as some unconventional. But they did have some personal experiences that were considered unexplained, such as one person's feeling completely charged and flushed near the top of Batcave stairs, a whisper in front of another team member when nobody was in front of them, shuffling noises amongst the silence, and equipment going off on its own. Since the activity was not normal, you could only chalk it up as a paranormal in a sense. He says guests are often blown away by the video, which you guys should have been able to see. I know that the camera light was flashing in the video screen. But there's some deaths. In addition to J.W. Scarborough and Fred Scarborough passing away at their home on the cave site, I had known that Michael Ulmer, a well-known proprietor of the Lincoln Brewery, died at the cave on July 15, 1875. Another possible death at the cave from author Taden Bundy. Bundy provided me an article from the Nebraska State Journal from November 11, 1916 that stated the cave was prepared for a brewery and when so used was known as Pete's Brewery. Pete died in the cave and his body was found by his vats. So somebody died in here. And a more interesting find regarding a possible death at the cave site, when Matt Hansen shared with me a May 27, 1879 article of the Daily State Journal that reported a man had been shot and killed at the brewery. However, the paper concluded there was no foundation to the report. Other than that, the former Senator Colby Koch's wife has seen things at the cave, and their son communicates with a young girl in one of the cross tunnels near the question mark. A medium from Omaha also mentioned that the spirit of a young girl who followed a former employee through the cave because she became familiar with her. Fletcher also felt the presence of a man who overdosed in Tunnel 2 in the 1960s. On another occasion, one psychic heard women crying or weeping in the cave. She also felt sick and experienced temperature fluctuations. Jason from Heartland Paranormal came in July of 2020 with light manipulation tests and recorders and brought medium Kelly Higgins. They reported a presence of an old woman near Joel, the guy that gave me the tour, when he's in the cave. Well, let's hope that I don't see anything down here because it's going to creep me out. Although the emergency exit is right there, so I don't know what lights are going to stay on. But I think it's probably time. I guess let's try our dessert. And we'll probably just get the lights shut off and crawl into bed. I've got a couple of lanterns down here, so I should be fine. We'll see if I can make it. I mean, I'm stuck in here regardless. I guess I could run out the emergency exit. But all right, strawberry Oreos in a cave. Do them this way so you guys can get a different view. Maybe you'll see something I don't see while we're down here. Like, oh, it's a little individual pack. There's a couple of them in here. That's nice. You guys can see the writing on there. Ooh, they smell really good. Smells like strawberry Quick, like Nestle Quick, that drink mix. I dig that. Well, like I said, it's probably time I should just try to get some sleep. I don't know how well I'm going to sleep, but especially considering my bed's going to be a little bit hard. But how cool would it have been to come down here and watch a concert with the band playing right here? I just turn this guy on. No great place to hang this, of course. Set that guy right there. All right. Well, Let's go turn off the lights. See if I can handle the creepiness. It is dark. Turn this light on. That's super creepy. You actually see all the way up there? Yep. With the lights off, you can see like broken glass and stuff all in the floor and glitter, like he was talking about from there being weddings and stuff down here. So it'll be fairly bright with that light going back there. But here we are for the night. Just put those over there. All right, y'all. See if you can even see me when I shut this light off. Yeah? Now that's spooky. Try not to fill my sleeping bag up with sand. All right. Good night, y'all. I'll see you in the morning. Oh, this ain't that bad, actually. Don't need my phone in my pocket, though. Good night. Oh, well. All right, put that down there. Good morning, y'all. Yeah, it's about 5:20 in the morning, and I gotta meet him up outside the top of the stairs. 5:45. It was a good night. I think I fell asleep I know that sounds weird, but maybe it was such a light sleep that, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep. Oh, see all the carvings? Man, I didn't hear anything crazy or see anything crazy. There was a couple like rumbles, so to speak, but I kind of think it may have just been like a semi going by outside on the road. I mean, it didn't sound like anything super crazy. Other than that, it was actually really, I guess, kind of peaceful because it's so calm down here. I think that might be a better light, but oh. Wasn't the best night of sleep in my life, but it also wasn't the worst. My ribs are going to be happy to get up off of this hard ground. I gotta get my bed and get all my junk packed up. Ugh. We did it though. And I'll have to confirm with him maybe, but I don't know if anybody else has spent the night in here like this in quite a while. He mentioned something about people have tried and they usually give up after about 3 hours, which I don't know if that's the truth or not, but oh, so I slid down the stuff here. This was my view all night. A little light at the end of the tunnel there. That was about it. Which actually was kind of creepy because it goes down right there and it goes up. So it's like you have this creepy little basement tunnel there. You know, I'd open my eyes or whatever, and you'd see just this little black hole over there and think, you know, like even now it's like you look over and it's like, is there something looking at me? Alright, let me get my shoes on. Heave ho. Such a cool spot though. Such a cool spot. All right. All packed up with 15 minutes to spare. I think if you do a last wander around, and I need to take some pictures. I just want to take some pictures. I can't believe that we had the opportunity to stay inside of a cave, in what is a private locked off cave. Such a cool night. Such a cool night. And the ghost of Christmas past or whatever didn't get us. So I'm stoked about that too. Yeah, it's kind of creepy in the dark. The lights don't shine down as far as you would expect them to. Man, why do I not remember that? I don't remember that rock. That's creepy. Yeah, looking over here to this tunnel was definitely that's a creepy tunnel. And you've got the exit up there. Thinking about the past and like what could have been and the things that could have happened in here and all the people that have been in this place is kind of the wildest part. And I've heard about this place, and it's always been on my list of places to come see. And I always thought, I was like, man, it'd be really cool to stay in here. I can see my breath. It doesn't feel that cold in here. That's creepy. Where was I going with this? I always thought it would be cool to be able to spend the night in here. And then, lo and behold, here we are. So, it's wild. Wild to me. Let's head up this way, I guess. We're up into the main tunnel up top. Oh, there's a thermometer right there. It says it's 60 degrees. How was I just seeing my breath if it's 60 degrees in here? That is a little creepy. I'm trying not to fall. Well, y'all, I think this is where I'm going to end this one out. Like I said, this was an amazing night to be able to spend the night down there in the caves. I can't thank you guys enough for this opportunity and for the folks here at Robbers Cave and Joel for the tour. Like I said, you guys can come down here and take this tour also. It is absolutely worth it. I would highly recommend it. And yeah, hit up the website if you want some merch. Definitely give the video a thumbs up if you made it all the way through. And as always, stay tuned for the next adventure. I'll see you in a bit.